Good Tuesday evening, everybody. Election day for the U.S. Very Merry Christmas party going on at Disney right now. And we're here in the garage. So, I mean, 3 major events happening right now.
And another hurricane on its way.
And another hurricane on its way. So, how's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday evening. Live coverage here in the garage to talk about, just anything we feel like talking about. So today's kind of, wait a minute, I'm on it. Hold up. The music.
You remembered.
Yeah, I remembered because I was like, why is my right ear so quiet? The music was so loud earlier, and now it's just quiet. All right, there we go. So I think we got everything rolling. There's the music. I was like, all right. So Tuesday evening, guys. I want to say before we get kicked off here with what we want to discuss in today's live stream, it's been officially over 1 week since the last night of HHN and
Feels
Halloween.
Like months.
It has. Like Steph and I, we took this past week off to kind of get settled and hang out with Hondo. We wanted to give him a lot of time. What are you doing? Hey, stop that. He is here tonight with us. He also is not feeling too well. He's got a nice little stomach bug going on. So we just been kind of, attending to him and giving him the whole baby treatment. I told him, I gave him permission that I would treat him like the biggest baby, like he is. So he's been milking that. I'll tell you that. But we took this past week off and everything. We've been transitioning the house. We do have Christmas decorations up in the house currently, which is very excited. We're ready for cold weather for Christmas. We think Hondo's excited for it. We have a lot of things ahead, so we're looking forward to that. But it's been 1 full week and a day technically since the last night of HHN, and I was thinking about it, I think, earlier today, and I was like, man, like HHN was so long ago. I was like, crap, it's only been 1 week. And we want to know, how are you guys feeling right now? Are you guys still kind of in that, that depression, withdrawal, HHN vibe right now? Or are you like, hey, bring on the holidays? Or are you kind of like us where you're just kind of in the middle, like, we're like, wow, like HHN, it's been over for so long, but really it's only been a week. We're ready to move on and go to next year, and we're kind of like in limbo, it feels like. So I'm interested to see what you guys feel about that being 1 week after HHN completely finished up. So where you guys go ahead and write that in the chat. Talking about today's lineup and schedule. It's going to be just a short one. We're looking at around an hour live stream. I saw Fun Guy Gamer is in the chat. We will be wrapping up our HHN fan-made map. We're going to be doing the scare zones since August.
It took literally the entire run.
Until we finally get to the very end. We're like, all right, we need to get back on this. So we will finish that up. We're going to get on that later here today in the stream, where we're going to have you guys either jot down maybe some of your favorite scare zones that you've had at HHN, or just like your own fan-made idea of a scare zone. And then Steph and I will pick our 5 favorite scare zones that we see in the live chat. Don't do that right now. We'll be doing that a little bit later, where we have you guys write that down, and then we'll input that into the map and be like, boom, there's the complete final map that we did, 3 years ago or something like that, it feels like. So we're going to get into that. But how you guys doing? Tuesday evening. Got a hurricane on the way. We're prepped. We're ready. And what I mean by we're prepped, we're ready is it's another day in the office for us.
Yeah, we have, for Ian, we got water and canned stuff, and then ended up not really needing anything because nothing happened for us, at least.
Thankfully, yeah.
Thankfully, but we don't really have anything prepped for this time, so hopefully it's not the opposite. We're not ready, but we need to be, when last time we were ready, but we didn't really need to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we'll be fine. It's just going to be raining. I mean, it's been raining, the past few days. It's starting to pick up and stuff. Where I always keep a close eye on things like this, but I feel like we're going to be all right.
As long as we get a week of cold weather afterwards.
Or this will kick off the cold season, take all the humidity away.
Would be great.
It hasn't been bad, really. It hasn't been bad recently.
It hasn't been too bad, but it's definitely not fall weather.
No, this past week especially, it's been very warm. You can really feel the sun, in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, in that opening intro to today's live stream, you guys saw that red moon, the blood moon up there, huh? What do you guys think of the total eclipse last night? We had a lunar eclipse last night.
We did?
Yeah. Remember I told you to set the alarm for it, and then because of Hondo's incident?
Yeah, I did not catch that.
Yeah, it was actually, we couldn't see it here, just because at the time we had all these clouds rolling in. So unfortunately didn't get to see it with our own eyes, but we did get to see one earlier in the year. But it's kind of cool how that was going on. So saw that, it was kind of haunt season. So yeah. All right, but anyways, today's live stream, we're going to be talking about the fan map, like we did say earlier. We're also going to be getting involved with some of HHN 31 talk, just to wrap up anything we did not finish from last live stream, which I think we hit 2 hours exactly, if I'm not mistaken, which it's still surprised me that we did 2 hour live stream. We do want to increase the amount of live streams we do, especially in the off season. I think we want to keep at least weekly live streams, just so we can continuously chat and keep engagement with you guys leading up into next year. And then maybe when we get into the more important conversations getting into next year, we'll be having 2, 3, maybe 4 hour live streams, depending on what's going on.
4 hours?
Yeah, 4 hours. I might have majority of that to myself, but we'll be doing that down the road. And then with the live stream today, we do, what else am I missing? HHN 32 speculations. We might talk about a couple things with HHN 32 and see what you guys think about it. And then we're going to do something we normally don't do in this channel. We're going to talk about the holidays. So the holidays are coming up and what's going on. And like we said earlier, the very first night of this year's Very Merry Christmas Party is happening at Disney. We'll talk about that briefly, just very briefly. And then we're also going to talk a little bit briefly about Fantasmic returning to Hollywood Studios. We did get to go see that this past week during our somewhat off week. So we'll be discussing a couple of those things. But to kick off the live stream, we have Brandon D with a $5 donation saying, hey guys, I made a spec map already. I can send through Insta. Please do.
Yeah,
go ahead.
To see that.
I believe Tim Purcell, he also sent me a spec map, that was done by some other person. I don't remember the name. I saw it earlier today.
I saw a lot of people asking if there was a Horror Nights Nightmares spec map already, but there's not.
Not yet. If they release something, it's usually in March. Usually in March is when they will release something. I just think right now it's too early to be credible with some of the things. So they usually wait until they get more concrete stuff, where a lot of your more fan-based, fan-made spec maps, like we would probably create, are usually early just for things we would like to see at the event versus what is possible for like actual concrete evidence.
Like the 2 videos that we did last year or this year in January.
Gosh, it feels like last year, right?
This year in January, they were more just like, oh, this would be cool to see, rather than like, we think this will come to the event.
Yeah, I think the only speculation that we had that was based off of just a couple of like clues and insider things that we had that we got very early on that we were even trying to push was a traditional Halloween vibe and the Pumpkin Lord returning in a sense. We were really pushing that out there, but we did get a couple people talking about it early on and some concrete evidence that made us say, hey, this is something we could really push, where the other stuff was just like, hey, we would love to see a Hondo house, get involved. So I think that's the difference on it. But yeah, Brandon D, send it over. I do have my phone, if I'm not mistaken. I believe I'm getting it right now, actually. Yeah, and just to let you guys know, I haven't really been on Instagram much. I haven't been on YouTube much. We haven't really been doing anything this past week, just because we took this week off. We decided, hey, you know what? Let's take a week off. Let's transition the house and all that stuff. Do what we need to do, and then take care of Hondo. Like I said, he's not feeling well at all. He's having a little stomach bug. So we just took the week off. But now with today, we're doing this. We're going to get involved. I do have a member video I'm working on to get out that I should have had for you guys back in HHN. But I decided to save it just to see if it brings back some HHN memories for some of you guys. So I have a member video working on it. And then Steph and I, we still haven't really planned our first like holiday video. Like this weekend, like today, for instance, is Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And then this weekend starts the very first, like the holiday parade and party going on at Universal this weekend. But then we have the hurricane coming in.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't.
Yeah, so we're not too sure what's going to go on. We know that MCO, the Orlando International Airport, is like ending all operation at some point tomorrow. So when they do that, it's kind of a big deal, especially for people flying in and all that stuff. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We'll let you guys know what we hear from it. We'll try to be more like social media people and do this thing. We just took the whole week off. So real quick, with Brandon still on the screen, I'm going to pull this up. I'm not going to show it on the screen because I have it here on my phone, but the first thing that I noticed, first of all, is a couple of icons I see featuring some icons, but we got Five Nights at Freddy's, Stranger Things, Scream, Chucky, Gremlins, Friday the 13th, Terrifier. What do you guys think of some of those? Just to name a few. Now, we got a lot of people making some spec maps getting ready for next year, so it'll be exciting to actually really get involved in the speculation for next year. I think
I'm excited.
We have some fun things planned for next year's. Well, say next year. Technically, is now speculation season for HHN. But Brandon D with the $5, thank you so much. And then it wouldn't be a live stream without this mysterious figure, Jim Daniels with I think that decimal point moved over just one too much.
It's supposed to be 10, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be $10, but $100 donation. This guy's insane. Jeez, it's just the shadow of the. What is it? I'm the shadow in the moon at night. That's Jim Daniels. I'm gonna give him the.
Just comes in and like.
It just completely drops and then leaves. Like, who is this guy? Time to move on. We can gripe about what we didn't like this year and campaign for what we want to see next year. I agree, 100%. I know, like, for instance, it can sound weird. We have the whole, election midterms going on right now in the U.S., and we're going to go ahead and run for Halloween year-round. I think that's what we're going to run for. Me and Steph, we're going to be joining the midterms and as an independent and stuff. And our slogan for you guys is Halloween year-round, and we'll see if we can back up a campaign for that.
That's going to be our platform.
Sponsored by Jim Daniels.
Halloween all year.
Halloween year-round, baby. So Jim Daniels with $100. $100. Time to move on. It is time to move on. We do feel good about moving on.
Yeah, we feel good.
Last year, it kind of hit us a little bit. We're like, man, we don't want it to end. But I felt like this year, we're like, you know what?
We're ready for a new year.
We're ready to move on. like this year was fun. This year was fun and all. We're gonna miss it, but it's time to start looking forward to the new horizons in HHN.
We're ready for. I'm hoping that with this Chucky announcement, that means that they might be, going back to like earlier announcements and spreading them out a little bit more. I hope like we don't get this one and then like we don't get
Next
another
June.
one until like August.
Just the rest of them in August,
Yeah.
right?
But,
oh my gosh.
But that has me hopeful that we'll have a really eventful speculation season.
I hope so. So
it just kind of sucked that like one of the houses is already done.
Yeah,
like
that's one thing I will say. Like, HHN and Universal, they know their fans and how big the quote unquote speculation season is for us. This fan made thing, speculating, and for them to drop something like that, I just felt like they're, I may be saying this right, their PR and marketing team, I think it's just swinging and missing recently. They may get a single here and there and stuff, but I'm telling you, like, you got a change up coming in at 87 miles an hour right down the plate that they could really smack out of the park. And I feel like they're just chipping away at it. And it's unfortunate because there are some really cool moves they could do PR wise with these houses and these announcements and stuff like that. And I noticed that for this year, which is why it kind of bummed me out about this past year. And I feel like they need to capitalize a little bit more on that. HHN does great fan service, they really do, but it feels like they're starting to trend a little bit away from that, and it seems like they're just, I don't know, I could be wrong, usually I am.
In general population.
Yeah, so it would be great if, they could go ahead and, if they would have held that house announcement maybe for some time in December, and then get us going into the new year, because really for like HHN fans, right, or just theme park fans, you have 3 events with Universal. You got Mardi Gras, you got Halloween Horror Nights, and then you got the holidays. That's really your 3 events you have there. Now, nobody really speculates or gets big for Mardi Gras. Like when Mardi Gras comes, it happens, it goes, right? People are excited for Mardi Gras, but it's not like they're speculating anything in a sense. The only thing they really speculate is HHN. And the holidays is a big deal here too, because it's all November and all December with them dropping that Chucky house on Halloween Day. It sounds cool and all. The problem is though, now that you get that house out of the way, you're still trying to finish up that year, HHN 31. You're still finishing that up. So people are like, oh, cool, that's cool for next year. But they're trying to soak in this last night they got with Halloween Day and all that stuff. And then the Chucky announcement kind of just gets left in the shadow to me. That is something they could have teased or did like some little teaser like video, 10, 15 seconds, where you're like, is that what I think it is? I don't know. It's not confirmed, right? Get people going on it. And then late November, December, drop a house maybe, and then get that positive vibe. Like we've already done some Christmas stuff, and get that train rolling in for next year's HHN, and then get into January, February, and start dropping more things.
I agree with Chris Williams said it was 100% about pushing the TV show. I agree, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and
it's not about HHN, it's about the TV show.
Mm-hmm. And it's their contracts, it's their...
exactly with what Disney's doing right now with Disney Plus. Like that's how it feels. It feels like, it almost feels to us like do you think we're done? Like we can see what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's not in the sense of like, is it a bad thing for what they did? It's not. It's more of a sense like, there is a better option than that. Yeah. Now, I wonder if, because it's, in partnership technically with Sci-Fi, I wonder if that's the contracts and stuff. But like, probably. I wonder how these contract negotiations go, because I feel like the way that I am, I'm kind of like the Teddy Roosevelt, you carry your big stick around and stuff, hold your feet firm on the ground. I come with the mindset of like, hey, what I believe and is going to be a great house for HHN, or what I believe would be great for HHN, usually comes with the backing of, I think this would be great, not for the event, but for the people. It's for it's fan service. What would be really something amazing that people would love and enjoy. And I don't know how these contracts work, but I just imagine some dark room with a single spotlight, and these 2 people come in and just talk about it. And it's like the people who are on the Universal side, they really need to like have the chest big and everything and say, hey, like your show's cool and all that, but Halloween Horror Nights will kick that. It will dominate that show, period. So I feel like that needs to be the mentality with the people over at Universal and HHN. That's my vibe, and I feel like if they can continuously push with that, you're going to constantly get fan service and stuff as the guest. You're going to love it, and then you will more likely support HHN. So I could go on forever about it, but we're gonna move forward, because if not, next we're at 26 minutes already in the stream. But Jim Daniels with the just absolute $100 bill dropped. That's gonna go to Hondo's stomach, because jeez, my man.
Is for.
Now USMC Two Face with a $5 donation for the hashtag Get Well Hondo. Hope you're both doing well. Our household is getting ready for Black Christmas. First of all, thanks for the wishes with Hondo.
He appreciates it.
He's really been having it rough. It's been a bummer. The past 3 nights he's been having the runs, and especially this past night, it's been every 2 hours. I've had to get up and take him out. So we really haven't slept, even though this was our off week. It hasn't really felt like that. We're hoping he gets better.
We also are getting ready for Black Christmas. We thought about doing a whole Black Christmas theme, and decorating with dark colors, dark greens and black and all of that.
Kind of like the dark forest.
But honestly, we went Christmas shopping. We went for decorations and everything.
Be prepared for this, guys.
What?
Our audience.
No, I was just gonna say we didn't really see anything. We
didn't see anything, but
we couldn't find anything that was dark colors, and even on Amazon there wasn't really a lot. So we were if we do that theme, it would be really hard to fully decorate and do that. So we just went with more a traditional.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
I almost said Halloween.
We're gonna lose some of you guys with this statement here. We had the option to do a Black Christmas, and we felt like we've just been doing Halloween stuff year round. It was hey, we love the holidays too. We love Christmas. It's let's decor traditional Christmas and stuff, because we could go Halloween year round. We do technically, but when it comes to Christmas, to us, Christmas is that break. It's our off season in a sense, and to us, it's kind of the refresh in the mind, and it's shift our energy and our speed with things, and it allows us to slow down, relax and stuff. And then once Christmas finishes, then we jump immediately, January 1st, we're back into the Halloween mood. And I felt if we just did that Black Christmas and stuff, it might have worn us out a little bit.
Yeah, we kind of we like having Halloween as a time that we look forward to, because we don't get it all year. So we need a few months of not thinking about Halloween, to then get back into the mood of missing Halloween. Mm-hmm. If it's always there, we will never miss it. So
yeah, it's one of those things where being a local here at the theme parks, people ask is it still magical, going to theme parks? And it's there are times, yes, but then easily you can tell there's just some days that don't feel that way, where if you're visiting for a week out of the year or 2 weeks or whatever, it's a little more special just because of how limited it is, where for us it's every day, all the time kind of thing. We do lose that touch a little bit, in a sense. But even if we did Halloween year round, which like I said, majority of the time we do, when it's next year, it's in June, July, and we're coming into August, we're full steam ready for HHN and Halloween, no matter if we're burnt or not. The Halloween excitement is real for us when August comes around.
Yeah.
So but USMC Two Face, Lily, and the whole household, hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for the $5 donation for the Get Well Hondo Fund. The Get Well Hondo Fund. Hondo's had so many fundraisers and foundations already that I've lost count of the little man.
I don't even know.
He's got so many.
He takes all of it.
He does, truly.
It's all for Hondo.
I'm looking through some of the comments here.
Chris asked if we're sure that Jim's donations are in US dollars and not yen. So then I looked up the conversion of 100 yen to US dollars, and it's 69 cents.
There you go. Yeah, so we're really just making a few pennies here, guys. Jim Daniels, the $100 yen or the 100 yen.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And how much would $100 then be in yen? That would be
a lot.
like that. Just sounds like ridiculous, to be honest. And then Jim Daniels popping in saying this right here. Disney is magical. Your money magically goes out of your pocket. That is true.
That is true.
And I don't think it's magically. I think it's kind of scary. It's more scary than it is magical. How that just poofs. It's gone.
But going back to some past comments. Sorry.
Yeah. Bring it up. What we got?
Chris said the ultimate flex would have been to turn off all of the audio in the park and play the like Vecna clock chimes. I agree. If they're bringing Stranger Things next year, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I really feel like
everybody would 100% know.
I agree, but it's something like that I felt like they should have done, like with the Chucky announcement.
Like a teaser rather than a full announcement.
We were talking to a couple of people at the park during the last night, and we're just talking about the Chucky announcement in a sense. And instead of just, hey, you know, I'm going to be a house next year here in Hollywood, you know, come sponsor me, right? I'm Chucky, I'm a friend, right? It's instead of like that crap. What they could have really done is like, you know, Chucky has a somewhat of an iconic voice in a sense. Obviously, you know, he's like standing very tall at 2 feet. They could have done something with that would give people the hint, like, you know, Chucky, right? Like you can see it, but it's like, it's not an official announcement that it is a house or it's for next year, or was it really for this year? Because they did have a lot of merchandise of Chucky this year as well. So they could have done something like that and played around with the minds of the real like HHN fans in a sense, until finally late November or December, drop it and then get us like where we're not talking about HHN. And that's what drives me nuts. Like the last night of HHN, we're talking about HHN. It's the last night, for Christ's sake. Everybody's there. Yeah. And they're going to make that announcement. So to me, that announcement by now, it's kind of like, all right, cool. We know it's coming. Now, how long do we wait for those next ones? Where they could have really done a teaser for the last night, waited a month, dropped the house, and then get all this peak conversation and engagement for Halloween Horror Nights and for the coming year where they're in the middle of Christmas. You know, so you got these fan bases still like, you know, circulating with engagement, and then it gives you that positive or uproar into next year. That's just the way we would have done it. Now, I'm sure, I mean, you guys are some of the greatest people in the world, so I'm sure you guys would do the same thing where I wonder if anybody else feels the same with us.
Have they had a Friday the 13th house?
I don't think they've had a Friday the 13th house. I think they've featured Jason before. But it wasn't like his own house. It was, I think it was a combination.
Oh, okay. Because Team Randall said Peacock has the Crystal Lake TV show coming out next year.
Yeah.
So,
which we're interested to see how that is. Yeah. The question is, when does that come out? Do you guys know when that Camp Crystal Lake show premieres? Because if it's like August or something, they won't have the house.
Jim is leaving for a paranormal investigation.
Got to run doing a paranormal investigation. Have a great stream. Oh yeah. That's right. We'll see you. We'll see you in 10 minutes.
Tell the ghosts we say hi.
Yeah, let them know Stephanie says hi.
Love you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say that, please. I don't want to have some random ghost coming in our house saying love you, Steph.
Okay.
Love your channel.
Oh, there has been a Friday the 13th house in 16.
In
okay,
16?
Well, that was a long time ago, so.
It was Freddy versus Jason, though, right? Yeah, 2016 Hollywood. Yeah, they did in 2007.
2007? Dang.
Guys, I was just born.
No, you weren't.
No,
I was in like junior high.
I was 10 years old.
I don't know how old I was.
Dang. Hondo, how old were you? I know.
Negative.
I was negative. I was a negative life. Oh, man.
Carnival of Carnage. Okay. Jack, Leatherface, and Freddy. Well, it's been a while since we've had one, so.
Yeah, or just the presence of him. I do feel like Jason will be coming back. I know a lot of people have been talking about it recently, and especially with the show release. So I do feel like Jason will be one of our next iconic faces to come to Horror Nights. Same with Freddy. I think Freddy will be one of them as well. We did have, Michael Myers this past year with Halloween. The year before, we had Leatherface with Texas Chainsaw.
And it's by A24.
Oh, A24 is
maybe
hard
if A24 is like kind of working with Universal now,
yeah.
maybe we'll get more like A24 properties.
Yeah, what do you guys think of A24 coming to the event? They've been doing some good stuff. They've had some great things. Maybe Hereditary is not too far of a reach then as a house.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Right?
I think it'd be great.
But see, okay, so talking about that, this does fit in with HHN 32 speculation, with how is the vibe of the house is going to be. Now, Hereditary, I've never seen, but from what Steph has explained, it's a scary movie. I want that feeling where you're like, at least in my seat, where I haven't seen the movie, but somebody here that loves horror and it does pretty decent with horror movies says like, oh, it's like, yeah, it's going to be scary. I'm freaking out. I kind of want somewhat of a feeling like that for at least 2 houses at the event. It just feels like, I know we've been kind of desensitized over the years, but I don't feel that gut-wrenching, butterflies flying around in your stomach feeling when you're looking at the house facade. I don't get that feeling anymore. And like I said, I'm not huge on horror, like, obviously like Stephanie or some of you guys might be, but I feel like they need to find some IPs or some original concepts to really get people to be like, I'm kind of nervous to go through this house. I don't know how it's going to be. I realize I'm talking a lot because I'm freaking out. That's at least what I do when I'm nervous. I talk a lot. Steph gets quiet.
I shut down.
So it's like I want some moments like that in the event. So I wonder with bringing A24 involved, we can maybe get like Hereditary. And then maybe I would love to see HBO work
Jim
with
said,
HHN, to be honest.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's leaving. Jim said that they're investigating a house people are getting hurt in. So they won't be friendly ghosts.
That's
all
sad.
right. Don't tell him I say hi then.
All right. Which house?
Tell him I say stop hurting people.
Hey, I'll
It's
go.
not very nice.
I'll have a talk with this guy. I don't really know too much, but play some funk music and everything. Give me just a little bit of a drink, and I'm ready to go.
I don't think so.
No, that's crazy. Hey, so everybody, I just want to put this out. Jim Daniels right now. This man's literally about to go do an investigation and stuff and deal with some not so friendly spirits, I should say. So everybody, just say a big shout out to Jim for being a man, literally, and best of luck, best of wishes.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. That feeling makes me feel like, oh God, going in that place. That's what an HHN house should have.
Yeah.
At least 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
But best wishes to Jim Daniels. Stay safe, my man. Best of luck. Let us know if you need backup. I'm here for you, man. I will help. I kid you not. All right, Brandon D showing up with another $5 donation. I'm saying it now. Next year will be one of the scariest.
That would be great. I would love that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think HHN 33 will be one of the scariest. I think repeat numbers are some of the scariest years at the event. I don't know. I love
repeat numbers.
Repeat numbers.
Oh, like
3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And of course, I mean, hopefully we're live. HHN 6, I'm just saying repeat numbers.
Why'd
right?
you just skip right to 6?
Because that's the scariest number I can think of.
Oh. And I'm like, you have 44, 55 in there, and then you just went right to 66.
That's the first thing that popped to mind. I just feel like years with repeat numbers can be some of the scariest ones you can do. I don't know. That's just my value.
I don't understand
I'm just throwing that out there. I don't think there's any evidence to back up. It's just 33 is gonna be freaky.
Okay, cool.
Maybe, I don't know. I hope next year does have some scary
I would love it if
elements.
next year was really scary, but they would have to really do like a 180 from this year for next year to be really scary.
Yeah, it's to be honest, it needs to be like how this past year was kind of like the traditional Halloween. Now this one needs to really just flip the coin. Like what's on the other side of the coin, and I feel like that'd be really cool to showcase. Just 2 completely separate events. Because I felt like with this past year, you had some fans that kind of were like, man, just felt, washed out a little bit. And I feel like, there are a couple of people out there questioning, like, is it worth going anymore? And I feel like HHN needs to answer that next year with a year that's like, they're like, holy crap, like, what was that? And really say, and for them to come back on their pedestal and be like, yeah, like, what's next? Like, what else can we do? Because we can show you some scary if you want. We can show you some fun and cute, and we'll show you in between and all that. I feel like HHN needs to make a statement with that. That's what I'm saying.
Where I said HHN 666 will be crazy.
That would be a crazy
What year would that even be?
634 years from now, at least.
What if they're still doing it?
I don't even know. What would that even be like? Like, to be honest, let's talk. HHN brings up a good idea, or a great point, technically, saying HHN 666 will be crazy. Yes, we won't be alive for that, but I'm looking at a long-term period with Epic Universe getting involved in the mix. Like, will HHN evolve in a sense? Will we get 2 parks? Will we have more houses and stuff by then? Because there's a time period in, from like 2015 to 2019 where it seemed like every year another house. We have another like small little scare zone here. It's like they were consistently adding, and they're going to get to a point where they can't. But I wonder, did they reach that point, or are they saving up for the coming years?
I feel like they're waiting for Epic Universe to open.
Yeah. And even Javier brings out a good point here too with HHN 11 repeat numbers having Eddie until they had to back out for the obvious reasons. So just something to put up there.
Mary said, "Do you think Evil Dead has a chance at being a house next year?" I could see that happening because I think what happened was they were supposed to have it this year, and then it got the release of the show got pushed back. So then they had to drop out.
Lay down.
They had to drop out from being a house. Of course, they don't want like all these spoilers from the show. I think it was supposed to be based on the show, right? They don't want all these spoilers in the house from the show that isn't released yet. So I could see them doing it next year because I don't see why not. Yeah,
I agree. I do have a feeling that we will get Evil Dead. Obviously, we know Chucky's going to be in it. It'd be really cool to get Scream involved and get Ghostface there. Honestly, by having those 3 IPs, I feel like those are solid. Those are pretty solid IPs. And then they could throw a nice fun one in there and then have a couple of originals sprinkled throughout. So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see these next few months. Some of the things people start talking about, but then January it starts really picking up. And then we get into March, and I think that's when stuff gets really like concrete with contracts and especially construction. They start construction really in January, February. They start getting construction going for some of these houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's when we'll start getting some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Getting leaked.
JC said, "It being more tame this year made it possible for me to talk my girlfriend into going. If it goes back to old HHN, she would be crying as I walked her back to the car." I do think, like you said, if next year is a lot scarier, I think there are going to be a lot of people that went this year for the first time that go next year and are like, I can't do this.
A complete 180 flip.
Yeah.
But the thing is, too, it's like what made me fall in love with HHN was the atmosphere, Even though there were some houses that really freaked me out. My first year was 2014. And then, 2017, was my second time going. And I remember, just some of the days, too. It's like, I love being here. But, like, some of the houses, I'm like, I'm good. That sounds scary. I'm good. I'll pass. I just don't feel that anymore. So, not too sure. I don't know. It'll be interesting though. Question is, if they do make it a little more intense, a little more scary, I guess you can call it, quote unquote, will that reduce the crowd levels? Or would it stay the same? Or would it get increasingly busier because people are hearing it? Busier.
I think if you do scarier IPs, the scarier the movie gets, the smaller the population that enjoys it gets.
Yeah.
So I think that it would be like, if there's not those IPs that draw like the general population, I feel like the crowds would be smaller.
I'm vibing to the music, by the way. So we have to start this now, because if not, we're gonna blow by the hour. It's already at 45 minutes. I know we've been talking about some HHN 32, but we need to talk about the fan made map. We need to finish that.
Oh yeah, we need to finish that.
So let's do that now. I want to get that done because I know Fungi Gamer will not let me sleep until that is done. So let's finish that up first. We'll pull that up on the screen if you guys don't remember exactly what the map looked like that we had at the time. Let me go ahead and it's on Canva. I know that's the way we were doing it. Dun, 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 dun. They also need to change the music for next year. It's got to be.
Yeah,
it's just got to be amazing.
As long as it doesn't have words.
Yeah. All right, so there you guys go. So that's the HHN fan made. That's the HHN fan made map that we did back in August. And as you can see, we ran out of time to do streets, but we had It, Scooby-Doo, Elvira, Fear Street, 13 Ghosts, Dark Ride Gone Wrong, The Fog, Irish Folklore. What does that say? 7 Deadly Sins, right? And then Universal Monsters versus HHN Icons. So that's what we had for the houses. We had 5 IPs, and then we had 5 originals, and those were the ones that won the fan vote. And then now the streets, the way we're going to do is you guys are going to type down either a street that you guys like that HHN has done in the past, like a scare zone, or an original concept that you guys would like do, like the title of it and maybe like a brief 2-sentence description about it.
Also think about like what would work good as a street, not just like things that you like. Because like there are some like houses and IPs that like make really good houses but would not work as a street.
Yeah.
So
sure.
think of things that like
or whatever you want to see. If you want to see Toothbrush as a scare zone and have a bunch of different, toothbrush and toothpaste, you can do that. I probably won't vote for it, but you're more than welcome to do it. And then what we'll go ahead and do is we're just going to go ahead and we'll pick our top 5 favorite ones that we read down here for you guys. Like I'm already seeing some people, like for instance, Ashton said Spooky Island. Yeah, I love Spooky Island. I really love doing the idea that we had with Spooky Island at Volcano Bay. We might even do, what do you guys think about this too? We might even do a Spooky Island Volcano Bay overlay video, like a separate video in studio where we talk about, the creation of it and stuff, maybe do some designs and all that stuff for it. If you guys are down to see something like that, we might do it sometime in the off season. I think January or something like that.
Of course, Bryce said Bugs, the scare zone.
What was it? Bugs? Scare Zone? Bugs 2? The Scare Zone? No. No. Bugs did its time. We're good with Bugs.
Jonathan said Vamp 75. I like that. That'd be cool.
Vamp 95 or Vamp 75. Which one are you picking?
That's hard. 75. I want to see some like Flower Child.
Yeah. See, I would pick 75 too, but like if they did Vamp 95, the whole year would have to be 90s. It would have to be a 90s decade year, which I feel 70s, like that's what's coming up soon.
The 70s would be really hard to do a like full 70s year. That'd be really hard.
Also, Brandon D, another $2 donation. HHN 32 goal is to meet you guys. Good luck. Good luck. We'll be there almost every day. I can almost guarantee you that. We tried our best to get back to a lot of messages we had with meeting up with some people this year, and it just got to a point where we're like, we would talk to like 2-3 people constantly, be like, okay, meet, and then we realized there's like 10 other people. We're like, man, we didn't get a chance to. But that'd be neat. Hey, keep an eye on it.
I like this one. Sorry, Dreamport Productions. First of all, welcome. They said this is their first live stream, but Devil Dogs from Slaughter Cinema. I love that. Anything from Slaughter Cinema.
Biker werewolves. That could be neat.
That was a cool
I never got to see Slaughter Cinema, unfortunately.
So it's a travesty.
It's a travesty. Not the mayor.
That is still probably one of my favorite houses, if not my favorite house.
I think that's still
ever.
your top house ever. As like a guest going through.
I would love to see any section of that house as like a scare zone, except for Yeti. I was so disappointed when like the next year they brought Yeti as its own house. That was my least favorite section of the entire house. I was like, any other section I would have loved, but I mean Yeti was still a good house. But yeah, anything from that I would love to see again.
All right. I guess that's your first street right there.
What was it? Devil Dogs?
The Devil Dogs from Slaughter Cinema, Biker Werewolves. What would the name be for that? Devil Dogs.
Idea.
I kind of just like Devil Dogs.
Yeah. I don't know.
I almost said the SS Devil Dogs. Like Slaughter Cinema Devil
I was
Dogs.
like a boat?
Yeah, like the SS. But see, nobody would get it. Yeah, I would do Devil Dogs.
Yeah. And then a vamp. What did we decide? Which vamp? 95?
Well, see, here's the thing.
75?
Brandon D even said, bring back Vamp 85.
See, I would like that, but I'd also like to see a new
If you
decade.
had to pick for this fan-made map, right? We get the choice of picking the streets. Would you have Vamp 75, 85, or 95? And you're going for the best year that you can create. Which one are you picking?
Would 85 be exactly the way it was?
I would assume so. Yeah. I think it would be based off of exactly what they did.
I think 85 would be the best. However, I want to see something different.
So you would pick the something different, hopes that it's good or even better than 85 versus picking your favorite scare zone you've ever had at the event, knowing it's perfect.
No. I would do Vamp 85 again.
Put in there Vamp 75/85/95 Clash of the Decades. You just get all these different vampires in New York in each section that's based off of a different decade.
There we go.
How about that? So there we go. So we got Vamp 85. I'm going to have to go in and let me change this real quick, guys.
Scary Tales. Blood Brick Road, like the yellow brick road, I'm assuming. Like Scary Tales, but Wizard of Oz. Anarcade. Brian, you would like that. You liked Anarcade, right?
I love the theming to Anarcade. I like arcade, 80s synth. Like, obviously, I mean, look at the channel. Listen to the music, right? I mean, I'm not opposed to an Anarcade scare zone. The only thing is, to me, it's that scare zone that's in the front. There's really not much to it. You know, it's just a cool theming for the year. I would have loved to see the Anarcade scare zone like in like New York or Hollywood, where they have a bigger production value there.
Yeah.
Just to see what they could have really done with it. I mean, it worked exactly for where it was. It worked perfectly. If Anarcade has the same music and stuff, yeah, I would vote for Anarcade, but I don't think it was one of those that it was like one of the best scare zones. It was just something I personally liked and enjoyed, but I feel like there were better scare zones than Anarcade.
I didn't really care for it. I like the costumes. I thought they were pretty. I didn't get any scares in that.
Pretty?
In that zone.
They were
because they
freaking
like
awesome.
lit up.
They were awesome.
I'm
Let's talk
saying-
HHN said Fear Street. Fear Street in a street.
That could be kind of cool. I'd rather see it in a house though. I'm also saying Blumhouse. If Blumhouse would mean that it's not in a house, then maybe. But
I'm good with not seeing Blumhouse at the
Yeah.
event for a little bit. And it's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
getting
good
like The
with-
Walking Dead in a sense.
I'm good with that too. Bryce also said Metallica, Behind the Madness. I like that. Metallica.
Do like a heavy metal street in a sense.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm down to see like Metallica come in.
We've
to the
always
event
said that
sometime.
we really want a Billy Idol street.
I would love to see. Yeah, guys. Like Billy Idol and do? I mean, I even talked about a concept with Steph about having a Billy Idol house and doing like White Wedding. But then I think it would work better in a street where in that street it's playing, you know, his song White Wedding. It's just the only thing is with that, it's that song will just be on a loop. It gets a little over. That's why I thought being in a house, they could do different scenes from his music.
Yeah.
But with White Wedding, I mean, you can have this idea where, you know, hey, little sister, have you done? You know, you get this crazy bride with blood all over her dress. All the bridesmaids are kind of gone crazy because she found out the groom like cheated on her or some crazy thing or whatever, and they kind of like lost it, gone completely ballistic, and they're like murdering people at the wedding, and that song is playing. It's like shotgun. I don't take me back, oh yeah.
I would love
I
that.
just feel like that's just a vibe. I feel like a Billy Idol could be a cool bop to have at the event. What do you guys think of that? Like, I would like to know. That's
We've had that idea for a while.
couple of years. We've had a couple of concepts for houses and scare
just,
zones.
Like, hanging on to.
Yeah, that we just kind of have in the back pocket. Which, if things go as planned, which they haven't really go as planned for us, but if we can get things to go as planned for us next year. Some of the ideas we have is creating custom videos with custom ideas of houses and scare zones and trying to even show some artwork and stuff like that. But it just depends on what time we have, because the one that I am working on has taken me some time, and I haven't even really drawn a script yet for it. So
someone mentioned it in the chat.
What?
Your idea.
Which one? Hold up. What's the name? Who did it? I gotta see him.
Robert. Up. Right there.
Boom. All right. Here's the problem, Robert. Let's have a talk. Game of Thrones, direwolves, dragons, White Walkers, grumpkins, snarks, just running around. Man, I wish. Finally made it to the live. My girlfriend and I met you guys both before the event. Hope to go again. Robert, hey, shout out, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, for a street, terrible idea. This needs to be a house.
Brian wants a Game of Thrones house.
This needs to be in the entire theme park. Game of Thrones has been on the probably the absolute top of my list for IPs that I want to see at the event. There's one specific episode. I'm not going to get into too much detail because I want to create a separate video with an actual blueprint and artwork and maybe 3D rendering that we're trying to work on. Literally what I was just talking about. It's with this house. And I want to create a video to show you guys, and it'd be like an idea pitch in a sense, which I believe Game of Thrones has been talked about before with HHN, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen people mention it before. And I would love to see this house, Robert, that I think. And it wouldn't be one of those things that like, it's cool to look at such a pretty house. Not only that, like I'm talking aggression and energy is there, and then having large puppets like the dragons and the White Walkers running around, like they could really knock that one out. I mean, just imagine Game of Thrones in a soundstage, and the queue line for this doesn't stay just outside and then go into the soundstage and immediately start. It's one of those, like, you have a little bit of the queue inside the soundstage, and that soundstage is purely just for this house. It's a huge house. And you can hear dun 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 dun, you know, whatever, right? Like hearing that
just
music,
like that.
just like that. Like they would excerpt that clip, the audio clip from this, and I honestly feel like I would have goosebumps, and I'd be like, let's freaking go or whatever. And then you get into this house, and they make it very realistic. You're like, holy crap, that was freaking scary. It was good.
Javier said the Red Wedding has to be in there. Do you want me to be scared or do you want me to cry?
Red Wedding was terribly sad. That whole scene was very freaky.
I had to take like 2 weeks off of Game of Thrones after that.
I would love to. So just going back to what Robert said, I would love for Game of Thrones, of course, to be a scare zone, but I think that belongs in a house. So I can't put that down as a scare zone. So how many scare zones do we have right now currently? We have 2, correct?
Oh yeah, 100-minute wait time every single night for Game of Thrones minimum. I can see that too.
I mean, before the park before Universal even opens for the daytime guests, it's at 100 minutes.
There's a line outside of Universal. We're just here waiting for Game of Thrones.
Go lay down. Go lay down.
You
know, mommy, tell him to lay down.
Go lay down. Go lay down.
Go lay down.
Hundo, lay down.
Go lay down. Hold up, guys. Give us a second.
Lay down. Lay down.
Go lay down.
There you go. All the way.
All right, hold up.
Slow moving.
Lay down, buddy. I know, buddy.
Okay, so we have
We're almost done.
Devil Dogs, Vamp.
That's a good spot.
You got the spot.
That's a good spot. You loving that? All right, stay right there, okay? We're almost done, buddy.
I'm seeing a lot of people say Terrifier. We have not seen that yet.
I feel like that could be a house, though.
I don't know if Brian would care for it.
Probably
But I want to see it, but I don't often watch movies without Brian, and there are some horror movies I just know like he wouldn't really care for. So like I typically don't watch those either. But I do kind of want to see that. Yeah, Hondo did get excited for Game of Thrones. He loves Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's watched House of the Dragon with us. Trying to find some more other ones that we got. Scary Tales as a street. They have done Scary Tales as a street, I believe.
The steampunk.
And it's been enjoyable, but they could do some different vibes. I could see Scary Tales being kind of cool to put in there. What do you think?
I think that'd be cool.
I mean, they've given us some options. We have 3 that we need to pick to finish up.
Let's do Scary Tales.
Scary Tales?
I love Scary Tales.
All right. Hey, Scary Tales. All right. So
So
Scary Tales is going to be the 3rd one. Let me go ahead and
do you know
try to get this to work. Jeez, I am struggling.
this? I think this is a video game thing, so I won't know.
Hold on. Let me make sure I don't screw this up. Boom. What we got? Is that recent?
Maybe like 2 or 3 scrolls.
Let me see. Which one was it? Ganon's Army.
Is that a video game thing?
I don't know. Fungi Gamer said Ganon's Army. I'm not too familiar with that. What is Ganon's Army?
I thought you might know.
I don't know. I gotta maybe Fungi. Give us some clues behind it.
Ooh, Legendary Truth continuation. Like
As a
one of
street,
the-
as a
yeah,
scare zone.
like one of the Legendary Truth like sections from.
And make it an interactive scare zone. Like interactive features.
How would you do that?
Some way, I'd figure it out. They've been using like their universal like mobile app game that they've done with HHN. Maybe something on the mobile app like they've done before, and maybe have like interactive elements and clues that you have to go and look at the props that actually have like hieroglyphics or some like language that they've had related with Hellblock, and you have to decipher the codes, and it tells you certain areas to go to solve certain clues, and you put that in the app, and maybe like a clue for next year's house or something like that is deciphered in that zone. So you get a bunch of fans out there just looking and really analyzing, the props and stuff.
That could be cool.
Let's do that. Interactive Legendary Truth Scare Zone.
Yeah. I'm seeing.
Did you write that down on it yet?
Oh no.
Oh. All right. Steph's gonna get that. This is your intermission time with Hondo.
Oh yeah, it's Zelda.
Oh no, Collection of the Creepiest Zelda
You
Creatures.
never played that?
It's been a long time.
I'm not a video game person. Unless you count Guitar Hero.
Yeah, right.
The Babadook as a house. That would be scary.
Yeah,
But
I just saw that house.
Ooh, The Witcher would be cool, but they need a lot of like big costume pieces.
Yeah. I'm also even getting, Benny Bob said, a carnival scare zone, kind of like Carnival Graveyard from 2018.
Ooh, I like that.
Right? A carnival
be
graveyard
cool.
scare zone, like have a rusted like truck or
Ooh, they
car
could do
in the
like
middle
a sequel.
Yeah.
I like that because I loved.
Okay, so
Carnival
let me put this up then, right? We're looking for the last one, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Carnival Graveyard or Puppet Theater Scare Zone? Would you rather have a carnival or a theater?
I think Carnival Graveyard works better in a street. Whereas like Puppet Theater works really well in a house because you have like the whole theater.
Okay.
All
right. So let's go ahead and let's get the final presentation here for you guys. So there we go.
Also, I like how these are literally all callbacks to old houses or scare zones. Literally, Devil Dogs is from
Slaughter Cinema. You have Vamp 85 as from the Vamp Scare Zones. Scary Tales, which we've had
Legendary Truth, and Carnival Graveyard.
There you go.
So we're just gonna have a like callback year.
Callback year. Like a throwback, HHN throwback year.
That's fine.
Just revamped. revamped. Vamps.
Everybody's saying Carnival too.
Yeah, I think Carnival would be really cool. Lay down. We're almost done. He does this all the time where every 3 to 5 minutes he'll just get up and like look at us. We're like, we know.
I do also, we already picked, but Bryce said Dead by Daylight. I do think that would be a cool street, especially because like you could, I mean, it'd basically just be like a mashup of a bunch of different horror characters.
Yep.
And then you'd have like the victims or whatever, and you could have like the hooks like around and like
some generators and all the things they
that
use.
would be pretty cool as a street.
I think Dead by Daylight could be a cool street.
I think that would be better as a street than a house, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. I think that could be really neat. So there we go. Houses and streets. We will not be doing the shows for this one just because we could go with a plethora of ideas and stuff with the shows and stuff.
I do think
if we were to do shows, we would have to do that for another stream.
Yeah.
But here's our Halloween Horror Nights fan-made map that we were supposed to be completed back in August. We have it done now. Congratulations. So the houses we got: It, Scooby-Doo, Elvira, Fear Street, and 13 Ghosts mixed with the originals: Dark Ride Gone Wrong, The Fog, Irish Folklore, 7 Deadly Sins, and the Universal Classic Monsters versus HHN Icons. And then in the streets, we do have Devil Dogs from Slaughter Cinema, Vamp, 75, 85, or 95, or all 3 in 1. And then Scary Tales, Legendary Truth, and a Carnival Graveyard.
there is absolutely no rhyme or reason, no theme. Just a bunch of random.
There is a theme.
What is it?
Awesome. That's HHN. Awesome.
The theme is
Like,
Brian from Orlando.
no,
and
like,
you're the icon.
Take away Never Go Alone, throw that away, and put awesome. Halloween Horror Nights 32. Awesome. Awesome. And then Bill and Ted come back and say something like that.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then
Let's
there you
have
go.
that be our show.
Right? Bill and Ted returns with
Okay, do you all think that you would rather have Bill and Ted or another Nightmare Fuel?
Yeah. What would you guys want? Let's HHN. Let's talk HHN.
that's
It's
funny.
Drac versus Jack.
Drac versus... That's a tongue twister. I can't say that.
Yeah, Dracula would win.
That's true.
I mean, easily.
He can fly.
He could fly.
This
He
map
can
was
fly.
well worth the wait. Thank you, Mary. Fun
Thanks,
Guy
Mary.
also said
Fun
I
Guy-
can now rest.
Yeah, fine. I can now
Oh,
rest
here we
and
go.
watch the sunset on a great universe. I can finally rest. All right,
We
Fun
know,
Guy. I hope
we
you
know
have
your
your.
answer. Let's talk HHN. We know your answer. You don't need to say it.
For
He
what?
said Nightmare Fuel.
Oh yeah.
We need to come up with food ideas next. Oh gosh. And then we're gonna come up with a budget, and then we're gonna come up.
And then next, you know, we have our own theme park we opened up, and we have our own haunt. Now, I'm gonna put this out there. Is the idea of Brian and Steph starting their own theme park and possibly
Crazy?
their own, yes, is it crazy? It is. And even starting their own haunt out of the market or out of question? No, it's not. I have been throwing ideas at Stephanie, and I have been annoying the crap out of her with some potential ideas of us getting some space, some funds going, and some production for possible haunts down the road. And if we could really work something out, maybe even a theme park. But that's going to take Elon Musk to get involved and a couple of other people that I have in mind. That idea I will not be pitching out there because I don't want anybody with some serious money to take the idea. That's it. All right, so folks, there you go. Halloween Horror Nights fan-made map is completed. We can all finally rest and watch the sunset on a grateful universe and get prepared for next year.
I put the poll up. I put a poll up for Nightmare Fuel or Bill and Ted's because I just want to see.
Okay, I'm interested to see that. Like, you know, Nightmare Fuel was cool and all. We enjoyed it. It's just to the point where I actually haven't seen a Bill and Ted show, and I don't think Steph did either.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like there is a storyline to it, and there's narration that we find more intriguing than just dancing. I would even love to see like a magic show, like just straight magician show and stuff.
But like twisted.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say black magic, but it's like almost like your freak show. in a
like
sense.
a freak show.
I
But
think
not
that
Jack. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that could be really cool. So there you guys go. Finally, we're done with the HHN fan made map. It's done. It's over, and we'll do one for next year. And back in August again for our countdown.
We might have
series.
to start it a little earlier and split it up into like one live is the IPs, one live is the originals, and one live is the streets. Because the one that we did,
took
all the
forever.
houses, it took so long.
It took forever. We had 20 houses total, 10 IPs and 10 originals that we had to pick from hundreds, and then we all had to vote on it. And
Yeah,
then we
it
looked
took
at the time and we're
forever.
like, we still didn't do the scare zones. And then this whole season we still haven't done it until finally. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be wrapping up here soon in a minute. We talked about all the Halloween Horror Nights stuff pretty much that I had in mind. We do have, of course, we're still going to be doing our live streams weekly. We currently have that plan to go in the off season with it weekly until maybe January, February. We might go bi-weekly again. We just love doing the live streams with you guys, and we have a lot of ideas for more things we want to get involved with in the live streams. So that'll be interesting. And then, like I said, we did take the past week off. That's why we haven't had any content. That's why we haven't really been on Instagram or anything. We just had the week off. We've been taking care of Hondo. He's had a little bug in the stomach going on.
Yeah.
So we've been taking care of that. But we're going to be getting back into some content, some things to talk about. We got some holiday videos. And just kind of going off topic with HHN, I know earlier in the live stream I said we'll talk about it. I just want to briefly mention this. We're going to spend no more than about 3 minutes, I would say. Disney has their very merry Christmas party going on. It is pouring down rain. Hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves and, you know, the hundreds of dollars they had to spend for tonight. We have a hurricane on the way. Should be coming in tomorrow. We're looking forward to that. That'll be exciting. And hopefully, you know, no issues for anybody in the wake of it. Lay down. We're almost done. He hears the outro coming up. He knows.
Lay down. You got itch.
Oh.
Get it.
Hondo's scratching his face, but he's up on a desk. Like his face is like right up on it. Lay down. No. Lay down. We're almost done. You gotta lay down.
We're just nervous that if he gets up, he's gonna have to.
He's gonna have his accident. Yeah. He's got the runs. So got him. We're gonna deal with here in a minute. But we also got to see Fantasmic, and Fantasmic was good. I was surprised. It was good because 80% of it was still the original show.
Yeah.
The new stuff they put in there wasn't bad by all means. It just felt like, you know, lately with the way these companies have been thinking of, they just want to throw new things in while keeping some of the old stuff in there for the nostalgia of people to come back. And then they throw these new things in without really having a clear mindset on the flow of like the show or the ride or whatever they're creating. And that's just what it felt like. It felt like they were just throwing things in without clear transition pieces or any correlation to the story to kind of make it better.
And then they get the like reinforcement that it's good because Elsa pops up and everybody's like, ah! And so they're like, oh, they love it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really like lend to the storyline, but it's still fun. Still a good show.
Yeah.
Still my favorite show on Disney property.
I agree. But
in Orlando, probably.
We were talking about this and stuff, and if people were to ask like, hey, like, what did you guys think of the show? It's like, truthfully, like, if you tell me, hey, did you like the original one more or did you like this new version more? I would pick the original one. So that overall just shows what I thought about with this new one is that I would prefer the old one. I wish they had a case where, you know, with Disney, with what they did with the Wishes fireworks show. I loved Wishes. And they came out with Happily Ever After, and Wishes is still my favorite one, but Happily Ever After was so good. Like, they need to do things like that versus, you know, kind of throw stuff in where people are like, oh, I still prefer the original. It's like, if you still prefer the original, we should have never had something new in the first place.
Right.
If you're going to make something new, you have to make it better than what you've already had.
Yeah.
So that's it. I wanted to bring that up because I know we've been talking to a couple people and stuff saying that we watched it. I just want to give our take and make it kind of brief and quick and all that stuff. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, we don't care. Bring on Halloween. Get it, guys? Like, do you want us to just talk about Halloween all year? Is that all you guys want? Is that what you want? But anyways, we are going to be wrapping up this live stream. We got to an hour and 15 minutes, a little longer than we thought we were going to get.
Yeah.
But we do need to get some things set up, prepared and stuff. We got to get some work done, and we got to let the little man out because, like I said, he's just not feeling too well. What did the poll end up turning out to be?
Nightmare Fuel 29%, Bill and Ted 71. So Bill and Ted's.
Well, there you go. Looks like almost 3/4 of the popular vote goes to Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of those people have seen both, if not at least Nightmare Fuel. So it just goes to show what people are saying. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it from the Casa of the Garage in Hondo.
The House of the Garage.
The House of the Garage. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Big shout out. I want to give a couple of names out here. Jim Daniels, Pilfer, Sean Moore, Valerie Burns, Chris Dustings, The Smiths, USMC Two-Face and Lily, Artemis, The Hard Knock Life, also known as Elizabeth Hart. If you're watching this, Elizabeth, sorry. Tom and Nikki, Team Randall, Michelle Klinger, Fun Guy Gamer, Mia Stonewolf, Crappy Tappy, I want to say Crappy Trappy, Crappy Tappy, Erica Williams, Kevin DOC, Marcus Green, Mark Comer, Kamara, Jeff Riley, Mary Vav, Bio Essident, Brandon D, Let's Talk HHN. We have Joseph Turner, and I think there's a couple more. If I'm missing your name, geez, call me out on it. But just a shout out to some of our members there for continuously supporting us. You guys have been fantastic. Huge thank you to all of you guys for keeping us going, keeping us doing this stuff and all. We have big plans that we want to do for next year. Hopefully, we can actually fulfill those. Keep us accountable for that, guys. But we're wishing you guys all the best. Hope you guys had a good time. 1 week after HHN closed up, and we're still talking HHN. And guess what? Next week, currently have plans to probably come back and do the same live stream, 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Talk more Halloween Horror Nights, more speculation stuff, and maybe some holiday things in that live stream. So as we're vibing out to the end of this live stream, that's going to do it for us. I don't have anything big planned for the end of this live stream.
Fireball.
Yeah, fireball, like surprise ending. I don't really have anything like that, not like the, when we click like the ending and it pops up and we come back, like I don't really have it.